Welcome to the Premier Coin Report, your weekly insider update on all things numismatics. We are joined, as always, by our panel of professional coin dealers from across the country. We've got Jeff Behan, who's the owner of PRC, Curt Gammer, a young numismatist from Washington, D.C., right? You're in Washington? And then back this week, Charles from VCD Auctions out of Vegas. We've got a great show lined up for you this week. We're going to start things off with this week's Guess That Guide. Very exciting, very exciting. This week, it's very fitting Guess That Guide because of the Stack's Bowers auction we're going to talk about in just a minute. A 2007 Sacagawea Dollar in mint state 68. This is the coin. There was a mintage of 3.6 million of these in 2007. The estimated survival rate, I'm going to guess, is most of them. They're made out of copper, nickel, zinc, and manganese, and brass, I think, right? And then the population, there's 166 of these in PCGS with 46 graded higher. And then in NGC, there's only 47 with 1 graded higher. Price is Right rules. We're going to guess the price guide value for these coins. We'll start with Curt. What's your guess for an MS68 2007 Sacagawea Dollar?
You know, with these modern coins, estimated survival rates, most likely going to be most of them. I get phone calls every day from people saying they have a full set of gold dollars, and I'm like, oh, does it have a woman and a baby on it? And they're like, yes, how'd you know? So I don't know if you guys are privy to those phone calls, but I get them a lot, and I love describing to them the appearance of manganese, not magnesium, that comes from bananas or something. But I don't know, MS68, pop 46 higher. It's not like something that you have to have if you have to have the nicest registry set of SAC dollars. I'm going to go ahead and say $1,100 is price guide, and I would be shocked and saddened if it was more.
All right, $1,100. We're going to go to Charles. What do you think for an MS68 Sacagawea Dollar?
So what, there's a pop of 40 of this?
Pop 46 higher.
So there's 46
Pop
of
46
these
higher?
Yeah.
Now, is this one of the satin ones, or is this just a regular?
This is a regular issue, business strike Sacagawea Dollar.
I don't know. PC 68. See, I'm terrible with modern. Unfortunately, I probably wouldn't pay much more than $1 for it, but myself personally.
That can be your answer.
20. I'm gonna go on this one. I'm gonna go $25.
$25.
Honestly, I know we're playing Price is Right rules, so I'm gonna pray to God that both of them are over. So I'm gonna go with literally $1.
You're going with $1.
I mean,
I said 1,100.
If this is just a regular Sacagawea, if it's a regular Sacagawea and it's not a top pop, it's not like a satin finish or a Cheerio box one. It should be absolutely worthless. I don't understand why this would be worth any more money.
Should be. Oh, the key is the key phrase.
If there's coins graded finer, so I'm gonna go with $1.
Okay.
Yeah, $1.
All right.
I think you got this one, Jeff.
Yeah, I hope it'll be my first win.
All right, there might be some contention to this decision, but I'm gonna give it to Charles, and here's why.
Jesus.
The NGC price guide is 35, but the PCGS price guide is 14.
Oh man, that means I won. If we
were to average out those two prices, it would go to Charles.
Well, I have a question
here.
I have a question.
What's up?
Is this a PCGS or NGC coin?
Which
one did you pull?
This was the PCGS coin.
All right.
Which would, if we're going by those rules, that will make Jeff the winner. I feel like that's reasonable.
Sorry, you could give it to Jeff.
Yes.
Okay, we'll give it to Jeff this time. He's the winner of this week's Guess That
And for all
Guide.
of you those watching, only the 2025 is worth more than $1.
Only the 2025 is worth more than $1. And the
right.
ones we're going to talk about in just a minute from the Stack's Bowers auction. It was ridiculous. We have to move on, though, to another very exciting part of the hobby. Something that everybody should familiarize themselves with, at least have the bookmark for Kitco or anything on your web page, your browser.
No.
Gold right now sits at 36.41. I think the highest it got up to was 36.78 this week, which is crazy. Silver is at
Wow.
41.74, almost up $2 for the week. Platinum's at 13.89, and palladium is 11.86. All right, Jeff, you had some thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't really thoughts on bullion. I know you like Kitco and a lot of other people might, but for the viewers out there, I love to use ngccoin.com/price guide. They have like a melt values there, which is US coin melt values, but it also goes across all metals and all coins. But if you just start there, it kind of shows you straight from Kitco what the values of all the precious metals are. But then it also has a really cool guide on like every coin that exists and what
Yeah,
those coins are worth right off the bat. So
yeah,
that's
I
one
use
thing
that
that I
all the
like to
time.
use. So quick shout out to NGC. Other than that, I'm a rare coin guy. I don't really have much to say, but I love bullion up.
Fair enough.
At any moment, it can go the other way. That's all I'll say. Just remember that pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered.
I don't
Or
know what
bulls and
that
bears make money,
bulls
but
and
pigs
bears
get
make money,
slaughtered.
the hogs make bacon, I
Yeah.
think.
So I think there's more stability. I also agree with Kurt, but on the contrary to Kurt, I think there's more stability to the marketplace. And I think with fundamentals and economic policy, the way it's going and the pressure to devalue the dollar is affecting the gold price
Oh,
and
certainly.
and coins in general, just physical, tangible assets. And if the administration is successful in what they wish to do right now here in the United States, it will further this trend because if the dollar continues to get devalued over the next 2 years, then it's only going to create more support for the gold price and other hard assets. So silver, the issue with silver is that it's probably a little bit over 50% of it to 56% of it is used for industrial capacity right now. But still, irregardless of that, just the economics of it with what's going on and devaluation of the dollar will give support to it. So I think there's more of a base to it. So I don't I know there will be corrections in the market, but I don't see it falling out.
Last week or the week prior, you were optimistic about the silver price shooting up to be more like the ratios that it used to be like. Are you still kind of
I
feeling
think
that way, or have you?
I think it should. I do. I don't see why it wouldn't. It obviously it definitely could just stay where it's at and marginally fluctuate between 40 and 35 or whatever, but I
Right.
don't see it falling out.
All right. I think we can go ahead and move on. We've got some new mint releases, 3 new pieces coming out. The 2025 proof American Silver Eagles are releasing September 23rd. They'll be $95 a piece, and there's a 10 per household limit. I don't have any pictures of those just because everybody knows what those look like by now. But for the next two, I do have
Well,
some.
is that a San Francisco or West Point? Pretty sure it's San Francisco. They usually
You
release
know
in the later
what?
part of the year. But
I
that
did not. I didn't pay attention to that, but I guess that is. I'll
shame,
put in the
shame.
link
Yeah, there's
below.
a
Yeah, but I
huge, there's a
guess.
huge,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
differentiating
so
factor
so
there.
for those that are watching, usually there's two proofs that are minted a year. Usually the West Point proof comes out with the West Point 4 coin gold set, since they only make proof gold coins from the West Point mint right now, at least. And then later in the year they'll do a San Francisco proof silver coin, but they do not do a 4 coin gold set from San Francisco, which by the way would be kind of cool. If they did like another gold set and came out with that, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
they only
Well.
make a mint state 4 coin gold set, a proof 4 coin gold set, and then a 1 coin burnished gold, and then the silver kind of gets a plethora.
Well, there you go. It's always good having a panel of experts to help fact check the newbie. But we'll move on to the next, the Canadian Tree of Life. I do have a sample image of that piece. Mintage of 12,000 pieces, and they're releasing for $79 Canadian. That's kind of
Now
nice.
is that Was that a full ounce of silver on that one? Yeah, it's
I
a
believe it's
$10.
silver ounce, $10, and then gilded with gold. Pretty nice. The
Yeah, it's
next
pretty
one would
cool.
be this piece here, which is one of the infrared ultraviolet light glowy coins. It's out of the Austrian mint. It's a €3 clad art coin. I think it's a circulating coin as well. Aimed at younger collectors, it's $14.
Yeah,
I,
that
those
one's
look
going to
like
be pretty
concept
big.
drawings to me. I'd like to. I'm curious as to see what the finished result looks like.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
or
just
the
straight off
reverse.
the Austrian Mint website, so I
I
don't
mean,
know
it
if they
looks
have
like
like a
2025,
Interesting.
so it looks like if they're going to mint that coin, it's going to be minted this year. But I don't know if you remember, Isaac, but when we went to the Bahamas, they had a similar a quarter, which had a boat scene sailing. And
yeah
that quarter alone, they were trying to sell for like $90
yeah
inside specialty shops and stuff. It was pretty absurd. So
yeah
anything colorized does pretty well, pretty well. So I mean, I would definitely say that 70 versions of that $14 coin would probably sell online for pretty good. I mean, that's a really cool colorized coin. They did really well with that.
yeah, and it changes colors so that those two images are like before and after. They send you a ultraviolet light with the coin when you buy it, which is kind of fun. But it's like before. It doesn't change very much, but I guess it gets sort of neon.
Well, you can see the coral changes colors
Yeah.
from red to blue, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, it does. I didn't even. Yeah, no, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even know. Okay. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
All right.
like it.
We'll move on to something that we can all comment on. We'll talk about the ship. We'll move the shipwreck guy to a little bit later because we did have someone crazy just walk into our shop literally like 3 or 4 hours ago. But the Space Sacagawea Dollar auction just happened. It was over $3 million, I think, for just nine coins. And it's dollar coins. They're the gold commemorative Sacagawea dollar coin from 2000, but they were flown to space, and they just got auctioned off at Stack's Bowers recently.
Those results are just
It,
insane. Blew
there
past
was this,
anything I could have ever imagined.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
because
didn't even make
these,
it to the moon. But I will say, this isn't the first time that they did this. Surprisingly enough, I wasn't even planning on talking about these, but I do have them right here. Because the U.S. Mint actually did this once before with stacks. This is the first and last American gold coins. I don't know if you guys remember the gold and silver coins in 2021. But the U.S. Mint actually did this a couple times where in conjunction with Stacks Bowers, they'll do a numbered set of coins and then do some specialty event with them and then auction them off, which I think is pretty cool. It doesn't go to one particular dealer. It gives, anyone and everyone an avenue to put in a bid and win these coins. And I think that's why you're seeing these break so many records, because you're not seeing, in my opinion, I'm going to make a guess here, but you're not seeing dealers pay that kind of money for those coins. These are registry set
No.
collectors that really want some of these coins and have access to them. And I mean, if you really look at it, the American Silver Eagles, which were the first and last one, they sold for $80,000 a piece, and those are silver coins that didn't even go to the moon. So something like this, that's number one, and it went to the moon, and it's an ounce of gold. Obviously, I didn't expect $500,000.
Wow.
But I mean, if a silver dollar will sell for 80 grand, that wasn't to the moon for being number one, I can definitely see how a 1 ounce gold coin that's been to the moon would sell for significantly higher than $80,000. So I wasn't surprised that these hit six figures, but I mean, total all in all, this has to be a wonderful win-win for the United States government. For NASA, which, that's 2 hours from us. I mean, I've been going to watch rockets take off and SpaceX, heavy Falcons take off since I was a child. Obviously not the SpaceX ones. So, this is huge for Florida, huge for space exploration, which is pretty big right now. Really good for the U.S. Mint. And I'm not really sure why Stacks is getting all these, but kudos to them for setting this auction up because they've had the last couple releases like this from the U.S. Mint. And I mean, it's amazing.
We need to do the math We need to run the numbers and find a way to contact Elon and see how much it would cost to throw in a small box of modern coins and send them up privately to the moon. With these results, I would not be shocked. This is deadpan. If it would pay us to get in touch and send some coins and then sell them through our channels.
So Isaac, just to dub that, we should see on what part of space these Sacagaweas actually made it to, because I can get some rockets. Like they have like hobby rockets down the street, and we can get to like sub level. I mean, I'm just saying, if these things, what is space? Right?
That'd be such a good.
Here, right?
That'd be such a good thumbnail too. Sending coins to space for profit.
The problem isn't sending them up; it's getting them back down.
Well, you put an air tag with it.
Exactly.
You put an air tag with a parachute and just kind of follow it. I guess I don't know.
An air tag.
But I mean,
that's smart.
I'm just saying, like, how far into space did they get? Did they make it around Earth once and come back? Like, what's the specifications here?
How far into space does a coin need to get to be worth $500,000?
But I will say, for space explorations, the Sacagawea is not the first coin to make it to space. Believe it or not, Premier Coins actually brokered a 1715 fleet, won a Scudo, that one of the astronauts who was a hobbyist diver found right off the 1715 fleet and smuggled it onto the Apollo mission, which made it to the moon. So there actually has been coins that not only have been to space, but have actually been to the moon, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's awesome. Charles, what are your thoughts on the space sacks, the sacks of space?
It's anomaly to me. I don't know. I mean, it's bizarre that the coin would be worth that much to somebody out there, but something is only worth what someone else is willing to pay for it. So
right.
I guess it meant that amount to that person who won the coin. It just it is what it is.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like a lot of people wonder why a lot of this stuff sells for so much, and it's like, well, it's because there's two people who want it,
But a lot of people don't understand registry sets. So the big thing with a lot of these collections, and when these modern coins come out, if you have one of the greatest American registry set collections, or the greatest modern coin registry set collections, or the greatest gold modern registry set collections, because the Sacagawea kind of puts itself into multiple registry set collections. If you're an authentic numismatic collector that is designing their collection based on registry points and collections, there only needs to be two of you to do that for these coins to go as large as the next lowest person's pocket.
Is there
is this a marquee coin in the modern registry set?
So it's technically the 2000 Cheerio edition. So it's got the enhanced reverse, like the tail feathers.
Oh, got it. Okay.
As well, but it also went to space. So it's like.
So do you get more points for that space thing than the registry, or?
Yeah, I mean, everything's going to give you more points. The grade, you get more points for advanced release than you do first day of issue. So I mean, every designation on a label will get you a little bit more points. What's up, Isaac?
I've got a newbie question. Why do they fight so much for the registry set? Like, what's the point? You get the points
to be number one.
Anything? Is there like a cash
to be number
prize?
Well, you get recognized at coin shows by PCGS and NGC luncheons. Your registry collection is obviously it's a Billboard Top 100, just like singers and artists for your songs and albums. If you go on registry sets, you'll see like the BN collection, the Premier Coins, the Charles collection, the Curt Gammer collection. So like it's a legacy thing. Like your name goes on it. It'll sit there forever. It's something you could donate in the future. It's a pedigree.
Small amount of ego at play there too, I'm sure. I mean, imagine I'm the only guy that collects Trinidad and Tobago coins, and the Trinidad Tobago coin collection's coming up, and I want the best registry set, and there's only one other guy, and I met this guy at coin shows or whatever have you on message boards, and I need to beat this guy. There's a competitive factor in there too.
Oh yeah.
And some of these battles get quite personal. I mean, you have coins selling. It's the myth of the continuous underbidder, right? I mean, you have a coin where price guide is let's just say for round numbers sake, $100, right? It's usually coins that are worth more than $100 that make sense for collectors to go crazy for them. But $100 coin, right? Coin X. It's the finest one known, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 people bidding on it. The bidding can go up to $100, but those 2 guys take it to whatever they tap out at.
Yeah.
It could go up to 350, 3.5 times what it's really worth. I mean, what it's really worth is all that is the next guy's willing to pay. It's very
and on top
interesting.
of that, the worth of that coin changes the second that guy bids on it. Because the second he bids on it and wins that coin, the new value of that coin is that price.
1,000%. And the fallacy lies therein with, the myth that, a coin's worth at least what it's sold for at auction, right? Because what it doesn't take into account for are really high-end rare coins where only 2 or 3 people are in that space. Well, let's say one stops collecting for any number of reasons, right? There's no guarantee that price floor will remain the same, or they simply lose interest, or they pass away, or they retire. There's a lot of things that factor into the final bid of these high-end, rare, high-grade coins. But yeah, registry sets, I think most, if not all, agree have been resoundingly successful for the coin market as a whole.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but the fraternity and the fun in engaging with other collectors. I'm sure PCGS has a feature where you can message different account users. Hey, nice, New Orleans Nomados 20s, man. Hey, thanks. I inherited this one from my grandfather.
Yeah, they have the message
Conversations
board and all that
friendships
stuff where they all
spring up because of that. So very good, very good thing. Registry sets, very pro registry set guy.
And that's why you see, especially with last week, what we're talked about, and maybe this podcast will talk about a little bit, is why those pattern coins from all others are breaking such ridiculous records, because they are truly one of ones, and anyone that gets that into their collection, therefore just bump their collection from number 2 or number 3 to number 1 overnight. Because of those pedigreed coins. So speaking of the patterns, we did just upload onto YouTube the Heritage Auctions video from the A&A show. They did it was very cool. I didn't realize how I didn't know anything about Chinese history going into it, but after going through and having to research for the video, they brought out some coins that I don't know. They just did it's stuff that shouldn't exist. And it's I can see why someone maybe would fight over something like this. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the Chinese market is the second strongest coin market in the world, next to United States. So, they just have a longer history. They got some
far
pretty
more
big
volatile,
ticket coins.
Far more volatile, especially when you get to the higher end rarities of Chinese coins. I think a lot of people can attest. Depends on a lot on current events and foreign exchange rates and whether or not people can safely move money. But I'm mainly talking about the high-end older dynasty coins. U.S. coins only go to the 1700s.
Even those.
Charles is excused from this trivia question because he has a massive hint. But Jeffrey, Premier Rare Coins, I'm reading your screen names. Jeff, Isaac, anyone who might be listening, put your guess in the comments. What does the Constitution, the United States Constitution, the Battle of Antietam, Hank Williams, and I'd like to denote Senior, one of the, if not the best country music artists of all time, and myself all have in common? Your time starts now.
Wait, how much time do we have?
A cousin. I'm going to say a cousin. It's got to be some bloodline. Y'all related somehow. Someone that signed the Constitution also didn't die in some war and is also related to Hank Williams. I'm saying
very good guess.
Curt has some wild family tree.
Very good guess. Isaac?
I think Curt
I don't even know the second
is Hank Williams.
Okay, that's a bad guess. Antietam, just for all of us who may not be obsessed with Ken Burns documentaries like myself.
I Googled it.
Was the bloodiest battle. You couldn't wait 30 seconds, Jeff? Seriously?
No, I'm not going to say it.
Was the bloodiest battle of the Civil War that took place. The Constitution was signed on September 17th, 1787. The Battle of Antietam was fought on September 17th. Hank Williams Sr. was born September 17th, 1923. And Curt Gammer Jr. was born on September 17th, 2004.
Happy
It was my 21st
birthday.
birthday.
Hey, you're
Let's
21st. Yeah,
go.
congratulations. You're an
Happy
actual adult now.
birthday.
That's
You can finally
amazing.
actually buy those
And I'd like
nicotine
to note
patches.
for the record, for the transcribers, Charles did call me yesterday and wished me a happy birthday, which I very much appreciated. It was very thoughtful of him.
And look at me
Man,
My
totally
God,
I
forgetting
man.
feel
about it.
absolutely horrible. I did not call Curt yesterday to wish him a happy birthday. So happy belated birthday, Curt. I'm
Happy
miserable.
birthday,
I'm
man.
horrible. I'm adding it
Well-
into my calendar now. But I did call you a week ago to help try to plan something out. So
That is true. That is true. That counts.
And Curt, I didn't get you anything because I don't like you.
It's okay. Not a lot of people do. Sometimes I don't even. But guess what? I did get myself a really cool birthday present, and I guess we can't talk about it until later in the show, but I'm excited to talk about it. So I guess
But,
we'll
Do a show in. We'll do a birthday section. Let's go ahead and rip it. Let's just go ahead and rip it. This is the birthday show and tell section.
I want to see.
Okay, so boom! I just threw up an image there. Thank you, Isaac.
Whoa.
It is an 1812 $5 gold piece minted at the Philadelphia Mint during the War of 1812.
Nice.
In XF. As a little kid, I loved gold coins, but I could never afford them. And I would go to different coin shops and different coin shows, but the only place I could see photos of early gold, this is before I had access to the internet, was in my Red Book, edition 2014. And I remember earmarking and dog marking all sorts of different pages, literally until they were falling out of the wire binding, right? Of the classic head and capped head and drape bust gold coins and the turban head gold coins. I mean, they were my favorite. And I never thought I'd be able to afford one. I mean, I think Red Book value was like something like, I don't know, $1,800 or $2,000 at the time, which was an insurmountable amount of money. But through the vehicle of coins and through this industry, I was able to put away just enough to be able to snag this one at $11.59 last night. I set an alarm for when the auction would go. And it's just a really amazing coin. Faces up very well. Extra fine details cleaned. With the Manhattan Collection provenance. I did some research. It doesn't seem to be that prominent of a provenance. But, really great piece of American history. And what a lot of people don't realize is that even though they minted 58,000 of these, what needs to be taken into consideration is that for a long stretch of period, that's a synonym, for a long period of time, rather, these coins were worth more than their face value in intrinsic gold weight, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine, if you will, getting paid a $5 gold coin for the work you did and being able to sell it to a bullion dealer like maybe one of us or someone else, for $6. Of course, you're going to melt it down and make an extra percentage on your wage or whatever payment you receive for the goods. So it was profitable for merchants for a period of years to melt these coins down and ship them overseas to countries like Europe or countries like France and the UK and Europe. So, I mean, I'm just excited talking about this coin. Bases up really well. A light old cleaning, but I mean, hell, I don't know if I'd look this good after 213 years. I mean, super, super cool coin that just got me stirring. So thanks for letting me share.
Congrats, man.
Great.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
I will also say another thing to add to your September 17th birthday wish is that the United States officially put into their gold ban on September 17th. So they outlawed it in the early years, but on September 17th they put down that pipe and they enforced it all around the U.S. with Executive Order 6102.
Nice work, Grok. All right, let's move on, Jeff.
You gotta be careful with those AIs. I don't know.
Yeah, they hallucinate a lot. I've looked like an idiot.
They hallucinate.
Times. It is what it is.
It's not all that reliable for coins.
Yeah, the info's just not quite online yet, but we'll
you just gotta copy and paste it onto all of them, and you have all three: Gronk, Gemini, and ChatGPT just communicate with each other in the open and argue until you get a consistent result.
A debate.
Hilarious.
I pay for them all at this point, man. It's ridiculous.
Incredible. All right, something else incredible happened to us not 2-3 hours ago. A gentleman came into the shop, unbeknownst to us, a little bit of a coin legend, and unbeknownst to him, I don't think he expected us to be as happy that he was there as we were. But Jeff, if you want to
I
go ahead
stole
and
one
take
of his
over.
photos and made him sign it to me.
But yeah, very cool individual came to our shop.
So
Jeff,
it's
tell
pretty
the story.
crazy. So, I came in today. It's a normal Thursday. I didn't think anything of it. Secretary came up to me and was like, "Hey, I just want to make sure you saw your calendar. You have someone coming in to talk about some Maravillas coins and some extra stuff. I guess they saw us on YouTube. They see that we sell a lot of shipwreck stuff. And for those of you that don't know, we're in Palm Beach County. This is the Treasure Coast behind us. It's called the Treasure Coast because of the 1715 fleet, the Etosha, and maybe a dozen other shipwrecks that are literally on our coast. Anytime there's a tropical storm or a natural hurricane or something, the whole 17 Fleet Society and everyone that has a metal detector is outside looking for something because they find stuff all the time. So, long story short, obviously because of that, any diver or treasure hunter from anywhere in the world is ideally going to migrate to the Treasure Coast, Jupiter, Sebastian, Palm Beach, the Keys, etc. Because this is where you hunt, and if you find stuff, this is where you settle. So long story short, I meet this gentleman. He's talking about some coins that he has that he's gotten graded, and then after a brief conversation, he pulls out this little alumni book, a photo. Goes, I found all these coins. I am one of the only 2 divers still breathing air on land today that actually hunted, found, and excavated the Maravillas. So he actually showed a whole bunch of magazines, and he's like, "That's me. That's my cousin. That's my uncle. That's my," So I mean, like, his whole family was extremely involved in the Maravillas. He did say that he did dive the 1715 fleet and a couple other wrecks like once or twice, but the Maravillas was literally salvaged by his family members, an investor and a couple other people. So it's really crazy to think that, like, again, the Bahamas is 90 miles from. That's Cuba. That's 90 miles from the Keys. But the Bahamas is really a skip over. It's a 45-minute plane ride. We go there all of the time. So it's really crazy to think, that's such part of, Florida culture, shipwreck culture, pirate culture, and it did happen in the 80s. So a lot of people don't realize that's literally 45 years ago at this point, which these gentlemen or people like the 4 of us would have been diving and finding this stuff. So a lot of them are deceased. They're old, and are no longer around. So it is crazy that someone like him, just strolled in here randomly, because as he was a professional diver, he wasn't a coin person. He had no clue the value or what he had. He didn't know how to send coins into NGC and stuff. So we really went over the process with him. We tried to help him understand what he had, what we would look forward to do and working with him in the future. But to me, I mean, that's as celebrity as you get for coins. I mean, especially for pirate-related stuff. I mean, he is the one that excavated the site and found those coins underwater in the Bahamas. So, I mean, it was just, really incredible to meet the person that literally created part of this market because of their findings and efforts. So, he had a couple like magazine copies with him. I was like, "Hey, can I take one of these? And do you mind signing it? And this might sound weird, but can I get a photo with you in the middle of my shop?" And I mean, he couldn't be more pleased to do it. And then it just, again,
awesome.
This is the world coming around all at once. So when we were at the fun show, we ran into Mel Abbott, who just happens to be the grandson of Mel Fisher, who invited us out to the Mel Fisher Museum in Sebastian, which we were at all day yesterday. So we got a private tour of the excavation. He already wants to send me and Isaac to go get our diving certificate so we can go out with him and stuff. And I'm like,
No way. Wow.
whoa.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. I'm like,
we'll have to talk about that one. I don't know.
We're gonna have to talk about
this,
guys.
How I feel
That's so
about
cool.
that.
But
hey, listen. If Isaac chickens out, a round trip flight from PBI to DCA is not that expensive. We've already got one.
I know we have, Isaac, and Charles, we've done that for you too. So
you can strap a tank to me and send me anywhere. I'd like coins. The closer to the source, the better.
I'll take all the footage above the water, and we'll strap a camera to Curt, and you could go under the water.
Well, long story short, it's just crazy that like we set that up months ago and we went to go do that yesterday, and then Richard just shows up randomly today. And we're actually joking because some of the coins and stuff that he found, he actually had to give back to the Museum of the Bahamas. So we were actually joking with him because when they went to open the museum that they put all these coins in, they sent his invitation to the wrong email, so he never got to go through the exhibit. So I made the joke. I was like, "Yo, if I fly all of us to the Bahamas, would you come and privately walk me around the stuff that you found?" And he shook my hand and said, "I'm ready when you are." So, guys, I think sometime in the future we all need to make a Premier Coins pod trip to the Bahamas with the shipwreck diver of the Maravilla. So either way,
The coin boys
crazy.
hit the Bahamas.
It's just crazy that like we were with the Etosha Mel Fishers yesterday, and now we're with Richard from the Maravillas today, and and what's crazy is they've seen our podcast, they've seen our content. I mean, Isaac was famous. One of the security guys came up to him and asked for his signature, which was pretty nuts. First time that's ever happened to us. But
Nice.
what's up, Isaac? I mean, you were there too.
Isaac, look at you, man.
Yeah, Curt had his hand raised.
Just want to say, let's get six Sendy. 6 Sendy is what the kids these days say about a plan that they'd like to participate in. And I'd like to go
What
to
does
the
that
Bahamas
mean?
and film an episode. 6 Sendy, I don't know. 6 Sendy is what I've been told to say on this podcast, is the key word of the day. And I really want to go to the Bahamas and find some ship treasure. So let's do it.
We went to Dallas a couple weeks ago to go look at one of the biggest shipwreck auctions that I think we talked about a little bit that was going on in Dallas. And they had something in 10 years I've never been able to buy. And it's an actual money chain. So I know we're skipping. I didn't even mean to do this for show and tell. But it's an actual money chain. And it just so happened that the auction was mailed to me this morning. So I'm like, listen, I got 2 boxes sitting over there, Richard, and one of them is a money chain from the 1715 fleet. He's like, in that box right there? He's like, are you going to open it in front of me? I'm like, do you want to sit down and open the box yourself? So I had him pick the box and open it. So I had an actual treasure diver from the 1715 fleet in Maravillas open, right, my money chain that I just got from the 1715 fleet. And it was one of the most, like, I don't know. I was on cloud 9. I'm still on cloud 9. I mean, I put this necklace on and I haven't taken it off. It's just crazy.
And here you are, sad that you sold your Ada Scudo Cobb off your neck, and I think you found one hell of a replacement.
It's all right. I have almost 20 more.
Do you have any Nomato 20s, Type 1 20s?
We can talk about that, but we have a couple.
All right.
Not in this box. This is all shipwreck stuff.
All right, I think we're going to have to go ahead and cut it there for this week. Thank you so much for listening to the Premier Coin Report. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider dropping a subscription and leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. Everybody's links will be in the description down below, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.